Hi guys, it's Jodie here from ODE. Now I know that Love Island is well and truly over, but listen, there's always more tea to be spilled. So today I'm having a wee catch up with two absolute belters. It's Tanyel and Zara. Hello. It's so good to see you both. Look absolutely stunning as always. It's quite annoying actually. Tell me, how has life been? How are you adjusting to the new life?
Yeah, crazy. It's like a whirlwind, I think, but we're loving it. I mean, we've had a lot of love.
We've come out to such a warm reception, like literally we've had the best time.
I mean, we've got like a Tanyel and Zara defense league,
I
so
know,
they
so
go hard
funny.
for us. Like, we love them so much. Like, they literally make us like laugh, and yeah, no, it's great, it's great. We love our supporters.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, obviously Love Island is over, but the drama doesn't seem to be over. The drama seems to be continuing. Let's talk about the reunion first and foremost. So you were kind of put on the spot at the reunion. You said what you said, you had things you wanted to get off your chest. How do you feel about the reunion?
So at the reunion, obviously I was put on the spot, but I've always said like I just wanted to be straight up about that, and it was my time to just get it off my chest, say it to them. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and pretend, oh, everything's great. Like what you did was so good as a friend to me. Do you know what I mean? I've always wanted to say what I wanted to say, and I still want to say more. And I feel like today I'm going to use this as my opportunity to just get everything out there in the open. I'm going to be fully honest, and always have done, but I just want to literally say very clearly how I feel about everything, just because I wanted to speak to certain people to their face, and it's just things have shown me that they can't take accountability.
Right.
And sometimes when people are like that, you can't force them to understand what you're, do you know what I mean, what everyone else can see because it's right on TV. But yeah.
Obviously you and Jordan were there and you were kind of put on the spot.
Yes, yeah. So basically, like, me and Jordan were still really, really early days. Like, you know, I think people think dating is like marriage. It's not. Like, we'd gone on like 3 dates, I think, and we obviously enjoyed each other's company, and obviously I'm really close with Tanyel, and like he and Tanyel were together in the villa, like not together, but like we were in the villa together. So we all had like a shared experience. I was enjoying spending time with him and vice versa. He liked spending time with me. But yeah, it got to the reunion and I think they were all like, you guys, and we were like, I mean, it's not like we're not dating. So I was like, we're dating, but I was like, it's early days.
Yeah.
And then I think just like the next date we went on, I was just like, I'm just not sure if there's a spark there, babe. Like, and he was like, it's not that deep, like it's really early. And we're friends now, and like, you know, and I have a lot of respect for him. I know he's got a lot of respect for me as well. And there was like a little blip where there was like a little bit of dramas because he posted a photo with a certain someone that I'm not close with. But like, again, he called me and was like, you know, I didn't mean to do that, like in any way disrespectful towards you. He took the post down, bless him. So I was like, he's my guy. Yeah. So like, we're honestly good, but yeah, it just wasn't meant to be.
So before the reunion, was there any conversations with anyone that you had beef with in the villa? Was there anything kind of addressed? Was anything squashed, or was it quite fresh at the reunion because it was still awkward?
We had the final party, which was the Monday. So the night of the final, there was about 6 of us, and we were invited to a hotel. It was lovely, like they put us up, and that's the first time we both saw Olivia. And you guys didn't really speak. I mean, she was very, very friendly with me, but she was saying things like, what happens in the villa stays in the villa. And I just thought, is it because you know you messed up in the villa and you're trying to backtrack now? But I just kind of was keeping her at arm's length a little bit. And I remember I was a bit annoyed at myself because I said on a podcast that she apologised, but she actually didn't apologise to me. I think I meant she seemed apologetic, and she seemed like she called herself a hypocrite on her After Sun episode. So I was sort of very much like, you know, let bygones be bygones, we can move on. But for me, I was just seeing things from the reunion after where she was like digging at Tanyel online, and I just thought, I don't think that she's actually changed.
So there was a lot of tension building up to the reunion as well, but there's been a lot of things flying around online. There has been a lot of TikToks and whatnot. What is going on?
Right, so you know what? All I've got to say is there's only so much you can poke the bear and then not expect a reaction. Like, life don't work that way. You can't keep talking about someone on TV and then carry on to say things outside of it and not take any accountability, but then put a lot of blame onto someone else, then write comments on other TikToks, right? And then expect no reaction. But one thing I will hold my hands up for is I wish I didn't react, but I reacted because I'm only human. Like, there's only so much you can take. We were literally out together, and this person's like, again and again, like, you're always saying something about me, and it's been throughout Love Island. Do you get where I'm coming from?
And I was seeing it, like,
I think people forget that.
I'd experienced that kind of behaviour from her in the villa, and I just saw it happening to Tanyel,
Yeah.
and it kind of triggered something in me as well.
It's a
And I was
build-up.
like, I want to stick up for her. Like, this is not okay. I want to stamp it out. But I think, to be honest, us replying, I think just made it worse.
Yeah.
So I'm glad now we've sort of just.
So for anyone that might be confused here, because this can get very confusing. So you guys made a TikTok, and this was in response to a comment?
So a comment, she commented, it's
On a
a
clip
shame,
of you from the reunion.
on a clip of me on TikTok from the reunion saying, like basically calling them out, saying it's a shame I didn't get to say the real reason why Tanyel left. And I was fuming because I thought,
Little sarcastic smiley face.
yeah, like I just thought, if you wanted to, you could have spoke to me after.
And like, she just didn't need to. Like, there's so many things that I've seen about me, and I've just like chosen to leave it, ignore it, because if you reply, it adds fuel to the fire. So when
Yeah.
she said that, I was like, she had ample time to speak to you at the reunion. We actually had the final together as well before the reunion. She didn't speak to you about
Yeah.
things then. And then you naturally, I think you didn't even say it in a bitchy way at the reunion. You addressed things quite calmly. You
I
were
just
like,
said, I
just
wish.
wish things were handled
Yeah.
better. And then she didn't speak to you after that. And then she wants to write comments about you on TikTok. I just, like, are we grown here or what? Like, I don't know.
So then you guys made a TikTok in response to that comment.
Which
We kind of kept it. We kept it all on TikTok, but I
Yeah,
think we just should have
shouldn't
left
even
it.
done it. Do you know that? But there's only so much we could have taken.
Like, it's not the first time that there's been things said about the both of
Literally,
us.
yeah.
And it's just like,
I just feel like there's only so much I can take as a person, and I'll always defend myself. She's continued to actually go on podcasts, and there was one where she turned around and basically painted us out to be the mean girls, right? For putting up a TikTok. But what she's forgot to mention is we've only ever reacted.
it's a reaction
It's
to
been a
an action.
response to everything she has constantly started. And one thing that really got to me, right, is how she's explained how she come out of the villa and how like she got a lot of hate and she's really down and people shouldn't add on to it, basically meaning us two. We shouldn't add on to it when someone's already down and they're going through a bad place, right? And do you know, all I felt like saying was, how dare you, because this is coming from the mean girl who was mean for 6 weeks. Literally.
Like,
was
she
mean
was
for
one of the
6
main
weeks.
reasons why I was down in the villa. So like, I'm still not saying that she ruined my experience, but she really like was, I think, turning the girls against me and stuff like that in there. And I came out and I was very much like, let's let bygones be bygones. And like, I didn't speak ill of her too much in interviews and stuff like that. And then for her to sort of come out and try and paint that narrative of the two of us, I just think it's so unfair and like calculated.
Talking about saying that it was difficult for 6 weeks in the villa, what was it that made the experience difficult?
I just feel like, and especially like watching it back, there was a lot of conversations about me and about my character and like, you know, oh, what do you think this about this? What do you think about that? And I'm like, no one came to me and asked me. So I'm just floating around thinking I'm good vibes with everyone, but I could feel there was something that was kind of off. And it's because everyone just had so much to say, but they couldn't say it to me. So like, yeah, no wonder I felt isolated in there, because no one, I think, gave me the time of day to get to know me.
The worst thing is feeling like people are not being as honest with you, and everything's like he said, she said, but no one actually says anything to your face. And more
very
importantly, I felt like people really invested like time and energy, but negative energy, into what I was doing when I never done that with them. Like, I never cared. And I think now that's been my main thing throughout this whole situation. Like, not the fact that I left when I did, or why it happened, or if they swayed Jordan's head or not, doesn't matter. It's all mainly rooted to, why do you feel the need to have such like a negative input?
So is there anything else that you want to get off your chest and share?
100%. Right, so this isn't stuff I would normally say, but if you're gonna sit there and make up lies about me, right, and say that I constantly said I didn't like Jordan when that wasn't the case, and Spencer shocked me even more because I actually thought he was fit, right? So that one really shocked me. But you're picking at me, right? But it's like, okay, let me tell you about yourself now. Why don't you sit there and pick at yourself, right? When you're, on the day I was leaving, Olivia turned around and said to me at the fire pit, right, that she still had a thing with Tom, like still had a thing for him, sorry, and like fancied him, but her and Kai were good at the time, so I don't know, but she'd always say, but it's his eyes, it's his eyes. She'd always say that, right? So why did I not pick that information up and go and say it to Tom? Do you get where I'm coming from? Or go and say it to Kai and say, you deserve better than her. No, because that's not the type of person I am. I didn't want to...
Good point.
It's not... Yeah, do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So this is my point in all of this, by the way. I didn't want to jeopardise... Not even jeopardise her, whatever she's doing in there, but it's not my business. I'm a true friend to you. You're telling me information. She said it in front of me, Lana. I think Jessie and Will might have even been there. I think Will even turned around and said, so if you could pursue things, would you with him? And I think she was a bit like, I don't know. But we could have all gone and made that into a bigger deal, but we didn't interfere is my point.
Yeah, there was a
At
lot of
every
things.
opportunity, they tried it with me.
Yeah.
And that is my problem.
There was also some rumours and suggestions that the reason why you were dumped from the villa was because of an argument with Ellie.
Yeah, so this is another thing,
Oh
right?
gosh.
I know.
This.
Okay, so me and Ellie have actually spoken and we're okay, right? We're completely fine now. However, when I saw that, I was literally like, what the hell?
It was just a YouTube video.
Listen, if she wants to, what I found so weird, right, is she was completely fine with me after that argument. We actually addressed things, we spoke it out. She was taking pictures with me at the after sun. And then a few days after, you're doing a YouTube video, and all I heard was Tanyel, 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 just slating my name. And she was actually quite shocked to why I even was a bit off with her at events after. I thought, well, obviously, because you've just slated
For like
me.
20 minutes.
Like
Slated
literally,
me.
like, and it was just me as well, like seriously. But one thing that I've got to say is I didn't even react to that, right? Because I thought, I'm not even going to give it the time of day, right? I know the truth, I really don't care. So I genuinely didn't react to it because I thought it was so pathetic. But there was no producers that stepped in, let's just say that. Like, that took me back a lot. No producers stepped in.
For you, Zara, is there anything else that you
Yeah,
know?
I'd say like just maybe with Tanya, all my like fans are messaging me like, have you seen what Tanya said about you, Zara? But for me, like again, I've come out and just, when I came out of the villa, I was just like, you know, positive, like, you know, yeah, like it was a little hard for me in there, like there was a lot of things that weren't aired, but it's okay, like we're moving forward with our life. But Tanya spoken about this argument that we had. I think she did a YouTube with Shaq and she spoke about an argument that we had, which was basically after I picked Liv for the beer pong challenge, all the girls, and it's no disrespect to anyone, but all the girls did kind of rush to Olivia's side, and I was sort of like, what have I done wrong? Like I genuinely, like even Kai was like, but of course you're going to pick Liv, like you know her, like it's not deep. And I was like, please, people with sense know that I didn't do it intentionally. But Tanya came to me with came with me to the beanbags, and she was just like, so why did you pick Liv? And I was like, well, obviously because I know her. Like, you know, if I picked anybody else, they think I've got a problem with them. I thought because I knew her, she wouldn't take it deep. And then Tanya was like, oh, do you think like the audience will think that makes good TV? And I was like, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, they might think that because we know each other and stuff, but then we were told by the producers they weren't airing that we knew each other, and I was like, they probably have their reasons for that. So then that didn't really make any sense from what Tanya said. But then Tanya went to relay our whole conversation to Liv when she knows Liv's already upset with me and said, I said to Zara that she picked you for the beer pong to make good TV, and Zara said yes. And then Liv's like, Zara's done it to make good TV, and it all just got spun in this horrible way. And then when I finally like, you know, spoke to Liv about it, Liv said that, and I just burst into tears. I was like, I don't think this is for me, like this show, like I don't think these people try to put things in words in my mouth and stuff like that. Like I thought I had a friend in Tanya, and she's just spun it to Liv. Is she doing it because she's trying to make me look bad? So I literally, and that's when actually the producers had to step in, and they called me to the beach hut, and I literally was like, I don't know if this is for me. Like I was really crying, and I said to Tanya, like, we need to speak, we need to speak. I was like in tears, like I literally was in front of the whole villa, like everyone saw I was literally in crying. And I just, yeah, for me, that was like a moment that I wanted to forget because it didn't even make it to air. And I was like, look, me and Tanya squished it the next day. She was like, I might have said it in a way that came across bad to Liv, but like I didn't mean it. And I was like, we can move past it. Like I'm very much like, if you apologize, we can move past it. So for her to bring that up now, like I got upset last night when I saw it because I was like I started crying because I was like, it's just another like negative moment from the villa that I tried to move past, and you brought it back up again. And I'm just like, I mean, I felt like we were really good friends in there, but just from what I'm coming out and seeing, like even on movie night, it really hurt me. Like I don't know why, but they played a clip of me and Shaq talking, and Shaq was like really, really flirty with me, and Tanya was like, oh, you want to flirt with that girl? And I was like, I just wouldn't address a friend like that. Like so again, just a bit sore. But like right at the beginning, I just remember like when I was talking to Shaq and I realised I think it was more friends, I actually came to Tanya and said, Tanya, I thought I'd just let you know I'm not actually interested in that way with Shaq. Like, you know, I want you guys to crack on. I think you guys are really good together. And she was like, oh, Zara, I was stressing out because I know that like you're more his type than me. And like, but I was like, girl, like he's all for you. Like, don't worry about it. But she then ran and told Shaq, Zara doesn't like you. And I wondered, Shaq was off with me for a few days, so I couldn't actually get that time to speak to him and be like, where's your head at? Like, I think it's more friends from me. But I thought I was doing the right thing by having girl code, by telling Tanya first. But then Shaq was off of me, and then there was this whole thing that Shaq then, I don't know if it was Shaq and Tanya or if it was just Shaq, but there was this rumor going around that I was only speaking to Shaq at the beginning to make Tom jealous. And I was like, where's all this stuff coming from? Like, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible, and everyone has got so much things to say. But again, I could have said to Shaq, when David came in as a bombshell with me, oh, Shaq, Tanya told me that David's actually more her type than you, but I didn't do that. There's so many times that we could have snaked someone, but
Exactly.
it's just not in our nature.
My thing is, it's the snitching for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also lying, twisting it, and then snitching.
and then trying to paint it out.
And then you come out and then you're shocked that we're being so mean to you.
We're not being mean. We're
not
just being
mean.
we're just being
But
like
we're
just arm's
reacting.
length,
Do you get where I'm
standoffish. Like we're
coming
not
from?
even being mean. We actually
but-
people have said we could have been more.
Yeah,
like people wanted you to
100%.
go in more on the reunion. Like I just think
I wanted to.
we're just not friends. Like why don't expect this friendship with me. I'm not going to be commenting on your pictures on Instagram. Don't be shocked that I do give you an unfollow on Instagram because you're not being nice.
I am not a horrible person, right? And you've treated me that way, and I've not sat here crying my eyes out playing victim, right? But I could have, but I didn't. I'll pull you out on it instead. And just because I'm someone to pull you up on stuff I don't like, yeah, I should be able to do that without you acting like, oh, pull me. Don't divert the attention and the blame onto me for things you have done to people. No, because
Like,
I'm not that
they're
person.
coming after us. It's like, well, no, you actually started on us and we're
Yeah.
just responding.
I'm just defending myself because I'm entitled to.
And how does it feel when people are kind of, saying that you're mean girls?
This is the one thing that pisses me off because, like I said before, you was the mean girl for you was mean girl for 6 weeks.
Again, I'm not trying to perpetuate anything, but there's a mean girl thing, I think, with Liv, and then Ellie involved herself because Ellie's now come out and called us mean girls. And for me, Ellie actually came in the villa quite mean. She wasn't very warm to the girls. I know she's got a bombshell, but I mean, the first thing she said was, right, Lana, Ron, you're both stiff. Like, she wasn't warm. So then she's come out and said that we are mean girls and the girls weren't warm to her in the villa. I'm like, babe, like, you came in, like, on crud. Like, what do you mean?
And so what's the resolution then here? Do we get everybody around a round table? Do we do a therapy session? Like,
I feel like there's too much, too much water under the bridge now. I just feel like, I think we should all kind of just try and move on, but I just...
I think for us, we wanted people to hear our truth.
Our
'cause a
side,
lot of stuff,
So we've not actually spoken up. Like, I think there's been so many narratives pushed about us, and we've just kind of just let it sit. But I think we owed it to ourselves to just like clear our name a little bit and just say our piece.
and on that, I will say that any other Love Islanders are welcome to come in here and have a chat. I'm always open. My DMs are always open. What's next for you two then?
Well, we were going to actually do a little YouTube, but I think I want to keep it light. Like, I feel like I'm done talking about the show. I feel like now it's like onwards and
I want
upwards.
to talk about like, I don't know, just more exciting things, right?
Well, I always love seeing you two. It's been great to catch up.
Yeah, it has been. Thank you for having us.